612 right now. A nonprofit focused on honoring Texas Rangers is losing its lease. A spokesperson says they've already poured millions of dollars into this project.
KENS 5 reporter Andrew Moore went to Fredericksburg to find out what's going on.
The former Texas Ranger Foundation has a land lease in Fredericksburg that required them to build a pavilion, a ring of honor, and a museum. They did get the first two built, but the museum never got off the ground. Now they are hoping the city will let them renegotiate.
I'm going to tell him about them. See, that's when it went into the Alamo.
The former Texas Ranger Foundation has a more than 100-acre lease in Fredericksburg dedicated to Texas Ranger history. The property has statues, placards, a pavilion, and a Ranger Ring of Honor.
It has over 500 names on it of Rangers. This represents all the Rangers that gave their lives for this state.
Nonprofit president Joe Davis, a former Ranger himself, says the site has hosted field trips and Boy Scout troops wanting to learn more about Texas Ranger history, an annual Texas Heritage Day, and multiple weddings and community events.
The former Texas Ranger chief wanted his funeral here.
But now the nonprofit may be losing the property. The city of Fredericksburg had agreed to lease the property all the way back in 2011, but the lease required the organization to finish a museum by 2018. The city later extended the deadline to early 2025, but it still never got started.
Lumber went up, everything went up.
Davis says the pandemic and rising construction costs delayed them even further. Then the city got tired of waiting and sent a letter saying the lease would be terminated.
I was shocked.
Davis said he couldn't get the city to renegotiate, and he didn't know what that would mean for their site.
That's what our question is. Why? What have you got? What are you going to do with this property? Have you got other plans for it or what?
And that's when his son called KENS 5. KENS 5 reached out to the city of Fredericksburg to ask if they planned to renegotiate the lease and to ask what would happen if the city took over the property. Then, 1 week later, the city confirmed they had a, quote, productive meeting with the nonprofit on this issue. KENS 5 again asked what would happen if the city took the property back. The city spokesman said, "I don't view this as a pertinent matter until the deadline has passed for them to respond to the notice of default." And if the two sides don't reach an agreement, then the city will take that land back after December 5th. We'll keep following the story as that deadline approaches. For Call KENS, Andrew Moore, KENS 5.
Keep in mind, if you have an issue you can't seem to get resolved, give us a call. That number's right there on your screen, 210-470-KENS. Or you can head over to KENS5.com/call KENS. We've got a form there. You can tell us what your problem is, and we'll see what we can do to try to give you some help.